I'm sure you've heard the phrase, I wish I could refresh my memory so that I could experience this game again. I know that I've said before, there are countless video games I wish I could completely revisit new because of the way that it made me feel while playing it. These are the type of games you have to visit blind on your first run because it hits 10 times harder than a replay does. I'm going to talk more about 3 games that truly weren't just a game, weren't just a story or just mechanics. They are an experience for me, which I feel like most games don't paint for me too often. The games I mentioned in this video are a handful of examples that I believe to be stories that I feel like I cannot forget because of the story, the acting, or whatever moved me about the piece. Whatever it was such an amazing gaming experience for me that it lives rent-free in my head years later. Just for a heads up, there are going to be heavy spoilers in this video for certain games. I'll post before I mention the game and when to skip past it. So if any of these are on your watch/to playlist, I'll put the timestamps down below so that you can skip straight over them. But seriously, I recommend you experience whichever one that you see right now because the second best thing from forgetting your favorite game to explore it again is to witness someone else experience it for the first time. One of the best examples of I wish I could erase my memory and revisit this is most certainly the video game yes. I'm sure you expected this. Outer Wilds. I've seen way more than just a handful of people say that this is their game that they want to forget to relive. It is, without a doubt, one of my favorite video games of all time. Hell, I literally have a tattoo because of it. I truly don't think that there are many games like it out there. The experience that I had with that game and everything around it is vast and honestly could be a video on its own, and maybe it will be one day. But for right now, we're only going to use it as a small example for a bigger picture I want to paint. Because trust me, I have a lot to say about this game with the way that it altered my brain. Okay. Outer Wilds is one of the most pleasurable experiences in a game that I have had the fortune of going into blind. From the get-go, the game tells you what you're going to be doing the entire time. Explore. You wake up and you get ready to go get launch codes, and throughout exploring your home planet and conversing with your village, you quickly find that you're a part of a handful of intrepid explorers whose whole purpose is to travel around the universe and find new knowledge. One of my favorite things in this game is that it gives you options as a stepping stone to what you could possibly do once the training wheels of Hearth are off. You go get the codes and you hop in your spaceship for the first time, you equip your spacesuit and strap for the journey ahead of you. There are no wrong answers in this game of where to go or what to do, so you go. You explore and run around and you begin to learn new knowledge no matter where you go first. But as you're exploring, as you're playing, you suddenly start to hear a song play in the distance. A song that's mysterious, ethereal, a song that gives you goosebumps when its first notes start to play, a haunting tune. Then you watch as the sun implodes on itself and engulfs the universe around you. And then you wake up. The entire point of the game is that you're going through cycles upon cycles and learning the rules of the universe in front of you. One planet may have information for another. One example is the quantum rule. As you're exploring, you can come across some sort of trial left by the Nomai, training this in this quantum rule. Here you learn that anything with quantum energy will move when not looked at unless there's a picture of whatever it is. Once you get out of there, suddenly you begin to realize pieces of quantum energy are placed in extremely important places, just like the quantum moon. The entire game is like that. Every moment, every piece is part of a larger picture you figure out later about this world. Thus, this game for me is the one I want to revisit the most with a completely blank slate. The fact that the entire game is based on exploration and learning new things constantly and putting them into play is absolutely one of my favorite things ever. But it's also why it's so hard to get back into for me than other games, because the puzzles aren't just in the game, they're ingrained in the story as well. The knowledge that you gain from this game is the entire overarching narrative that you explore. Sometimes I wait a year or two and replay it, but the experience of all the big puzzles of the world are in my brain, and I only start to forget some of the small facts. I talk about it sometimes with my partner, but when I first played the end of Outer Wilds, I didn't get it. I didn't get the satisfaction of playing the game for the first time ever and not being told the solution to get to the end. Which really sucks, because unless I completely and utterly wipe it from my memory, I can never have that first reaction, the final aha moment and a wave goodbye to all of the universe and the friends that I've gained on the journey of knowledge. I replayed it completely over again in 2024 because I had missed the masterpiece that it is, and I feel like I was able to come from it from a new angle. Not an angle of frustration of not getting it the first time, but being able to appreciate the game for what it is, an experience. A Way Out is a phenomenal game by the company Hazelight Studios. I cannot stress how much I love this studio's games. The way that they incorporate co-op on a split screen and the mechanics of both people mattering to further both you and your gaming duo's game is absolutely breathtaking. I'll be talking about A Way Out, but the game It Takes Two is also a great example of how amazing the co-op truly is. A Way Out is about two men who are put into prison, one being Leo, who has been there for a while, and was in because he was backstabbed by his partner in crime, Harvey. Vincent is new in jail because he was framed for killing his brother, who Harvey killed. Throughout the entire game, you play as these two breaking out of jail and bonding over hating the same guy, Harvey, that caused them both to be there. Progressively, you get to see both sides of the story you're playing. Slowly, lore starts coming out about Vincent and Leo, their family lives, their motives, and who they are as people. This game does an amazing job at reminding the players that you're playing as people with emotions that can really feel real in situations. It brings that empathy into play. You begin to really feel for these two and start to try to root for them as every turn they go down, there's a new problem or they almost get caught. This game, I cannot forget the twist at the very end of the game. So I made my friend who hadn't played it, play it with me, because like I said, the best part of revisiting a game for some time is watching somebody else play the game for the first time. We were playing through the entire game and having a fantastic time watching these two characters bond so deeply. That was until we came back from Mexico. The big twist of the game is that Vincent was a cop the entire time, planted next to Leo just to break free and finally kill Harvey, because Harvey had shot another plant to try to catch Leo and Harvey, but he was Vincent's brother. So whoever plays Vincent, you lied. You used Leo, the person that you were bonding with so well during the story. I purposefully made sure that my friend played Leo and that I played Vincent. It was amazing to watch him start to get attached to both characters, how each one interacted with each other and how the plot progressed. And God, listening to his reaction when the final twist came through was absolutely amazing.
Here you go. Good job, Vincent. I'm sorry, Leo.
Yeah, you were a cop.
Even though I had known the whole time that Vincent was going to ultimately backstab Leo in the end too, it was amazing to experience it alongside him and watch his reaction to the storytelling. The concept that the entire time as you've been working alongside whoever you're playing with, you're suddenly on opposite sides now. One of you betrayed the other, and now it's all guns blazing in the tragic, unfortunate ending for both of these characters. The final sequence where you're shooting at each other is an experience I don't think I'll be able to feel again in a co-op game. You had built up all that bonding, that trust you had in one another, only to point the weapon at who you had trusted this entire time. Now with this game, it goes either way. Leo or Vincent can win. Whenever I play this game, I always try to win because that's exactly how my character would be playing. But it tears at my heart every single time. The fact that it's me or you. Only one of us is going to be walking out of here alive. The final sequence where you're trying to see who gets the gun faster is really heart-wrenching. The pointing of the gun, the rain stopping, and the moment of silence as you point your gun at your own pal. Once you play this game, you can't unsee Vincent as a cop who's just using Leo to get this case. But the reason I like to replay this game is because whenever I play this game with someone new, I can always make people play Leo, which I feel like is much more heart-wrenching. Because I, Morgan, quite literally know that I'm going to backstab you. But I get to act buddy-buddy with you and watch as our characters seem like they're bonding, only to watch it all fall apart. Where do I even start with this game? Before Your Eyes is less of a game to me than the rest of the games that I've mentioned. This game is unlike any narrative I have ever encountered in gaming. The game itself only has one mechanic. You connect the camera so that it's looking at you the entire time, you move your mouse around, and blink. But when you blink, time moves forward, right before your eyes. You play a breathtaking story about a person named Benjamin Bryn. He has died, and you're going through his memories to see who this person was, who you're playing as, to see if he's worthy to go past the gatekeeper. So you need to tell your story to the ferryman. You get fully thrown in and immersed immediately as you play this game. You are Benjamin. You are going through life in his eyes, quite literally. The part that gets me is that you're playing as this character, this creator, this prodigy, this artist. You see his struggles, you see everything in plain sight for you, only to realize halfway through that it was all a lie. You weren't an artist. You're not a prodigy. You're a little boy dying from a terminal illness. You watch as his life wasn't anything like he said. He was a young soul taken too soon due to circumstances he couldn't control. The part that kills me about this game is the very end, where the ferryman is explaining your life story, but when you blink your eyes, you see your mother responding to your life story. I will never forget the first time that I played it, and I was at this point. I was crying so hard that my eyes kept blinking, so my game kept switching between the ferryman and my mother, who was reciting everything to me. I played this game on the couch in the living room on my laptop, and my partner didn't quite understand why I was crying so hard. If I'm being quite honest, I don't think a game has ever made me cry as hard as this one. I can imagine myself revisiting this game. Hell, I did for this video to get recordings of it. I actually made Michael play it, because again, what did I say? The best part about revisiting a game you played is to watch someone else play it for the first time. But the story still hits very hard. Every note, every moment you play it, you get to experience fully the life of Benjamin Bryn. Now, what can I conclude about all of this? I've told you about the games that I feel are an experience to me, but what do they all have in common? The fact that you have to live through them. They're all games that completely and utterly revolve around you, the player, and the first impact you feel when you play them. It's a full experience. Games that you can come back to, yes, but you can't come back to the game the same way you did the first time you sat down with it. Outer Wilds makes you the intrepid explorer. You're the one seeking out knowledge. You get to see the entire universe's secrets, all from the beauty of being with others in a vast universe to the tragedy and loss and heartbreak. All you seek out. There would be no experience without you and your curiosity. Once you start to unravel the secrets about the universe, you can't go back to not knowing that information. That's with you. You've learned that, and you can't revisit the first time you've learned it again. A Way Out. It binds you to another person. It's between you and whoever you're with. The story itself becomes personal very quickly because it's not just a narrative. It's you and your friends spending time together. You get to play these characters and act how you think they would, making choices throughout the game and eventually to the very unfortunate twist. But it's not just a twist, it's something you both have to live through together. The twist that when first played blind is completely and utterly shocking, something you don't see coming. And if you're someone like me, who had played the game, you can play it with someone completely unsuspecting and set them up for a whole betrayal. Before Your Eyes is a story that slips through your fingers as you play. You move time forward. You get to experience and see life move quickly in fleeting moments, just like real life, and the real memories play out. experiencing with every blink you do, you get closer to the end of a memory. The twist that stabs you in the gut with emotion, and once you blink, it's gone. Going into it, you learn slowly who Benjamin Bryn is, and only halfway through do you realize that time is a thief. So you have to live in the moment, trying to grasp at the experience that fleets away from you. You can revisit this game, sure, but the heartbreak of finding out who Ben really was and having to witness him slowly die truly was one of the most gut-wrenching things in a video game I have ever experienced. Everything these games have in common is that they are vicariously through you. Everything here with each of these games needs you to make it a full experience. Your emotions, your choices, your curiosity, your steps moving the narrative forward to make them work. And the first experience that you have with the game can't be replicated once you learn the knowledge of the game. They're the type of games that sink deeply into your heart and leave you thinking about them for years to come. They're truly unforgettable games that linger in your brain and could very possibly change the way that you look at the world. And it's kind of hard sometimes to have those types of games that revolve around you and shake you initially all the way to your core. Now, if you're still here after all my yapping, hi, thank you for listening to me talk about these games that I care about deeply and what they mean to me. I hope you had a good time listening. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe. And finally, have a great day. Thank you.